And then when did you decide, what kind of revenue did it look like? I mean, you say, hey, we just started doing $1 million a year or 5 million a year. And then we go, I'm in a franchise, or I should
Yeah.
do that.
So
Yeah.
that one particular location, it was a little bit south of $1 million. There's only, of all cleaning businesses in the country, $1 million is sort of the top of the top, and so we were able to do that as we started growing. But early on, we're probably closer to 700 to 800.
Yeah.
Again, I can't remember the exact numbers, but yeah, it was.
Yeah.
A few years
But
ago.
in 2023 numbers, it's probably close to $1 million.
Yeah.
So where did the franchise idea come from?
So that's another funny story. I'll kind of wind you through a path to get you there. So we were seeing great success, strong profits, everything was working well. I was very important to the business, and I didn't know how much I was important to it until we started growing. We opened eventually 12 corporate locations, all the way from the Carolinas to Florida. Eventually relocated to Birmingham, Alabama.
You put a lot of miles on your body and car.
Lots of miles, and I found myself in a plane more often than not, and that was just not efficient. And we needed to relocate to a place I felt sort of in the center. So we relocated to Birmingham. My wife's from here, and it was sort of this, again, the center of the footprint. So it made a lot of sense. But even with all of that growth, I was still so important, and we were starting to see some growing pains. We were starting to see some of the systems become less efficient because we were just outstripping them. I was going to have to really invest deeply into the infrastructure of the corporate office, and I had not done that. I wanted all the money to be out in the field, and that mentality, that philosophy worked for a long time. But the growing pains, they were more bottom line growing pains than top line, they were surfacing. And so someone said, franchising. I said, I don't know about that. That sounds like a dirty word in this industry, because I'd heard so many horror stories of franchising going wrong. And I said, well, let's see, because I think we have something strong here. But from a corporate growth strategy, no one had ever done that before in the cleaning industry. And I was seeing why. And so I went to Vegas to an IFA conference, International Franchise Association conference, and was inside this ballroom, of course, listening to a guy speak, and wasn't really interested in it. So I walked out into the lobby to just check email, my laptop, sat across the table from this guy who felt like he wasn't going to bother me, but he started asking all these questions, and I started giving him all these answers like, oh, we got 12 stores. We're in 5 states. We do all this revenue, and look at us, and I'm here to talk about franchising. I'm going to be a big deal one day. And I said, so what do you do? And he said, I'm the founder of this little company called Subway. I have 42,000 global locations. My name's Fred DeLuca.
No way. You met Fred DeLuca on accident?
By accident. And sat across the table from him for the rest of the afternoon, developed a strong relationship with him. He passed away about a year and a half later. But between that period and a year and a half, we talked a lot. He became a mentor to me, and he taught me a lot about franchising. He had never been in home services. Obviously, he was all food, but franchising is franchising. And so I became a big fan of franchising because of that relationship, and said, I can do this.
Oh my God, you drank the Kool-Aid. You drank it fast.
Yeah. I mean, he's the godfather of franchising.
No kidding, man. Yeah. Put Subways right next to a university. That's the key.
Yeah. It was funny though, because I really was thinking highly of myself at that point in life. And
I've got 12. I got 42,000.
Yeah, across the world, and so it was humbling, but also informative and educational, and inspirational even, because it's what I still tell people was so interesting about him is, he was, again, the godfather of franchising, just world renowned. He knew it all. And when you talk to him about franchising and his life in general as a business owner, all he talked about were the mistakes he made. He never saw all the great things he built and made.
All the success he had in spite of the mistakes.
Yeah,
he just talked about,
I'm this small, compared to him even today, but I can sort of relate to that, because when I look back at my time at Two Maids, I see so many mistakes that I wish I could have avoided, and trying to fix those and avoid those here at Pink Zebra Moving when we're building out again. But yeah, he told me, here's what I did wrong. Here's what you should do right. And I said, let's do it. So we started selling each of those 12 off as a franchise. We kept one, the corporate store in Birmingham, Alabama, which is where our headquarters were. We kept that just because we wanted a presence so that we could test ideas and just stay in the industry.
So what did that conversation look like? You whoever was managing that store, hey, I'd like to have a conversation with you about buying the franchise, or did you list it, or what?
No,
how did that go?
I didn't know. So at the time, it was real scary because I'm like, okay, franchising sounds good. How do I get anyone to want to buy one of these things? And so that was very intimidating to me until it wasn't. So once I said, hey, world, like my small inner world, I'm going to start franchising this model. I've got 11 stores across the Southeast. Is anybody interested? Oh my, all these people who I thought at one point were rolling their eyes at me because all I did was talk about business came to me and said, I want in, I want in, I want in. And so most of those 11 were sold to people that had some connection to me. Maybe it was a college roommate or a college roommate's uncle or, a friend from my hometown or whatever it might have been, family members, neighbor. But all these close connections said, hey, I've been following your story and looking for an opportunity, and here it is. So I'll take that store in Knoxville, Tennessee. I'll take that one in Pensacola, Florida. And we sold the first of those 12, the first 11 we sold to literal close connections in some way. Once we transitioned from corporate cleaning company to franchise cleaning company, then we started talking about opening new markets that we had no history in. And so Tampa, Florida was our very first one. That was also sort of a chance encounter. I met that franchisee in a hotel lobby in New Orleans at a conference there. So got to go to more conferences apparently. And we
no kidding. Yeah.
We shared this shows my age. We shared a cab to the airport, and on the ride to the airport, he said, I've been thinking about starting a cleaning business. And there you go.
Really?
Several weeks later,
You've got some synchronicity and serendipitous favor working for you.
Definitely had some fortune along the way.
Yeah. That's amazing. Yeah. So tell me about these 11 locations. Now, did Fred DeLuca teach you how to run and manage those people, or what to look for, or to like sources to go to like now you're managing 11 locations? Yeah.
You got to, he never charged for a minute. So he didn't give me.
What did you call him up or email him or what was it?
We would just talk by phone, and whenever he had the time to do it. Sometimes we'd go several weeks without talking, but when he would talk, he'd give you some information. Yeah. So,
do you think he was doing this with other people that he met too?
Yeah. He was later in life, and he had accomplished so much. And I was in France. So the franchising world is very closely connected, and it's much smaller than you think. And so the IFA actually fosters that type of mentorship. A lot of folks that have been there, done that, work directly with emerging brands like us at the time, and just that's a service that they try to foster. And so that was sort of how we got connected and just kept the conversation going. But he said this is what it was all about what he did wrong, and so I would always listen to what he did wrong and try to use that in our business as we were scaling it.
I hope this video has inspired you. If you need help buying your first $1 million business, make sure to visit me at dealflowsystem.net. If you like this video, make sure you subscribe down below. Comment on it, share it, tell everyone about it. And thanks for watching.